Hey y'all, this is another thrift-led video where I take items I've thrifted and upcycle them to something that is more my style. Now, if you've been watching my channel for the past few months, you know that we've recently moved and I've been shopping to create a new little hoard in my new house. And people always ask me who inspires me. And I always say it's not someone that inspires me, it is the stuff that I find that inspires me. So it is vital to my creativity to shop and have stuff around so I can continue to be creative. However, I am not okay with having a bunch of stuff around and not doing anything with it, and I haven't found out the perfect spot to store my new little hoard. So it's been living in my master bedroom. So in today's video, what I decided to do was just go ahead, pick up some stuff, make a decision on what to do with it, and get those items done. So let's see how many items I can get done in this video. And if you have been procrastinating and need a little motivation, y'all work along with me. Grab some stuff, make a quick decision, and let's get it done. I thrifted this wooden bowl for about $1. I don't come across these often, but when I do, I definitely pick them up if they're at a good price, and I turn them into fruit bowls, and they are always a good seller for me. Since fruit is going to be going in this bowl, I'm going to paint it with DIY paint. I'm using the color beadboard. This is the first time that I've used this color, and it's kind of like a light bluish gray. I ended up putting 2 coats of paint on. The first coat of paint, you just want to get it on there and let it dry. And then the second coat of paint, you should be able to get full coverage. And once all the paint has dried, I want to distress this piece. I'm just going to kind of even out my brush strokes with the sandpaper and then just distress the edges of the bowl. Then I'm going to add DIY white wax to the bowl. This is going to seal my piece and also just add another color and a little bit more dimension. So you're just going to brush your white wax on, and then you're going to take a paper towel and wipe it off. And then you want to let it dry, and we're going to add one more thing to this bowl. I want the bowl to actually say fruit bowl. So I just printed out these words from my computer. It is in the font called Magnolia Sky, and just using some painter's tape, I'm going to attach the paper to my bowl. I highly recommend using painter's tape to do this. That way it doesn't pull up your paint that you've already put on your piece. Then I'm going to take some transfer paper and put it underneath my word, and then using an ink pen or a pencil or whatever you have, you're just going to trace the words that are on your piece of paper, and then the transfer paper will transfer it on to your bowl. And then you're going to take your painter's pen and just go over the words that you just traced. So this is a really simple, easy way to put type on any surface if you don't have a Cricut machine or anything like that. I prefer this method because the painter's pens are like paint and it's more permanent, and I can print out to my words to any size to fit any surface that I want. So this is my preferred way to do it. Also have a very steady hand, and I find this a very relaxing process. Do y'all remember these little metal canister sets that I thrifted? You can find them at every garage sale, every thrift store, there, everywhere. I like the details on this one, so we're going to use one of these today. We're also going to be using these wooden candlesticks that I thrifted. If your candlesticks have these metal pieces on top, they're really easy to get off with just a screwdriver. You just kind of loosen them up, and then you're able to pull them right off, and this will leave you with a nice flat surface to work with. We're going to be gluing our wooden candlesticks to the metal canisters. I'm going to be using Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to glue it upside down. That way I can see exactly where the middle is. And you just want to make sure you let this dry for 24 hours before you mess with it again. That way the glue has enough time to fully cure. Next, I'm going to mix some antique white paint with some baking soda. I hope y'all are not tired of seeing this technique, because I am definitely not tired of doing it. It just makes everything look so good. Y'all, it really hurt my heart to paint this candlestick because I love the brown color that it was. But I just felt like in the end that this piece would just look much better if it was all painted the same color. So the reason I love this baking soda paint texture is just because it gives so much character to the piece. It makes it look like an old piece of pottery, and who doesn't love that? I just love the way these pieces come out when I paint them with this mixture. I ended up putting 3 coats of paint on here and had no problems with getting the paint to stick to the piece, and I sealed it with Rust-Oleum clear coat. I absolutely love how these risers turned out. Who would ever think that they started off as Christmas canisters? And I kept my design very simple and very neutral and just really wanted the texture on this piece to shine. But I think it would also look great with some IOD molds or even some IOD stamps on here. I had a good bit of the baking soda and paint mixture left over from the previous project, so I decided to go look through my stash and see what else would look great painted, and I thought this picture would be so pretty. I actually ended up adding a little bit more baking soda to my mixture because I wanted this picture to be very textured. So I went ahead and applied 2 coats of paint to this picture. Now the paint was having trouble sticking to the black part of this picture, so what I did was I just sprayed a coat of Rust-Oleum clear, and that always fixes the issue. So if you're having trouble with your paint sticking, just spray it with a clear coat, and then you shouldn't have any issues after that. Now I wanted to add a little stamp to this picture, so I decided on the number 6 from the IOD typesetting stamp, and then I wanted to use 2 little alpha bellies on the side. I didn't have any blue ink. I know IOD makes some, and I need to get me some of that, so I'm just using some blue paint and the IOD ink brayer, and I'm just going to roll it on just like you would the ink, and then you're going to place it on your surface. Now the trick to doing a curved surface is just you want to put it and always have one hand in place and rub with the other. And so you make sure the whole time you have at least one hand not moving. It takes a little practice, but I've come a long way and I'm really good at doing curved surfaces now, so there is hope for you as well. And y'all, I love how this came out. I want this to be like my new family logo because there's 6 people in my family. How cute is this? Love, love, love it. Oh my gosh, y'all, this picture is so my style. I love it so much, and I literally want to put this stamp on everything now. I love the number 6 for the 6 people in my family with the 2 little alpha bellies on the side, and I love the imperfection that you get when stamping stuff. I mean, I've totally transformed this picture into something that looks so old and so vintage, and this is going to look so good in my house. This little bird cage is very cute, but I think I can make it look even better. So I'm gonna take some black paint. I'm using chalk paint, but you can use any paint, it's fine. And some cinnamon. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a painting technique that makes this piece look like it has rust on it. So there's no like right or wrong way to do this. I like lots of layers and texture. So I just apply some of the black ink, sprinkle some cinnamon, then put some more black ink, some more cinnamon, and you just keep doing that over and over again until you get the desired look that you want. Then you want to let it dry. Then I take it outside and just blow off any extra cinnamon that might be on there. And then I seal it with a few coats of Rust-Oleum clear enamel in a matte finish. This bird cage was okay before, but with this painting technique, it definitely fits much more into my style of home decor. So this can be applied to anything. So whether you thrift something or maybe you have something in your home that just needs to be updated to your current style of home decor, this is a very simple, easy painting technique to apply to anything. I thrifted this cute little box for, I believe, $3, and I thought it would be perfect to put my paintbrushes and pens in. Okay, I was planning on covering up the front of this, and then when I turned it over, I realized the back was solid. And I'm like, Julie, you don't need to cover it up. You just got to turn it around. So I figured this out on video, and that's what I ended up doing. I just simply turned the drawers around and then the front was solid. Voila, that was a lot less work than I thought this project was gonna be. Then I took the piece outside and sprayed it with my spray gun. In my spray gun, I have Rust-Oleum chalk paint. It took about 2 coats, and then this piece was ready for the next step. I ordered these little card catalog pulls on Amazon. I believe it was a 30 pack for $11, but I do want them to be black for this particular piece. So I'm just going to spray paint them in black. And of course, all the products that I used in this video will be in the description below. So once my drawers and everything was dry, I'm just going to take a very fine grit sandpaper because I just want to kind of smooth out the top, and then also just lightly distress the edges because I feel like pulling the drawers in and out, they're going to get distressed anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make that part of the look now. These pulls came with very small screws, so I'm just gonna take my drill and a very small drill bit and just pre-drill all the holes. That'll make this go by so much faster. And I already measured to make sure that they were centered. So I'm just gonna pre-drill my holes and then put in the 2 screws and then go to the next one. And then I'm going to create some little labels to put into the pulls, and then this piece will be done. This was a very simple project, but it was a very big transformation, and this piece is going to look amazing in my craft room to organize all my brushes, my paint pens, and my ink pads. I saved these 2 random pieces from going to the landfill, and I cannot wait to show y'all how it turns out. And I'm going to be showing y'all everything that I work on, no matter how big the project is and no matter how small or simple it is. Because maybe you have one of these in your home already, or maybe you find one out thrifting, then you'll know what to do with it. Not every project that I do is going to be a major makeover. I just want to inspire y'all and give y'all ideas on what to do with the stuff that I find and maybe you find as well. So the first thing I want to do is try to take off any veneer that's already chipping. It was actually attached on here pretty good, so most of it didn't come off. And then it was painted with this orange color. So I definitely want to get that off at least and get it back to the natural wood. So I'm just taking a high grit sandpaper and I'm just trying to get off that orange paint. Since I sanded this piece, I want to bring all the wood tones back together, and I also wanted to continue to have that old age look. So I just mixed the Waverly Antiquing wax with a little bit of water, and I'm just going to apply it onto my entire piece, and it'll dry to a nice matte aged finish. I cleaned the bottle with soap and water and also ran it through the dishwasher. Luckily, it did not come all the way clean because I don't know about y'all, but I don't mind a little dirt and dinge. That just adds to the character of the piece, right? But the top was broken and it was a little sharp, so I'm just taking some sandpaper and just sanding it down. That way it won't be so sharp. And then these pieces are ready to be put together and staged. Y'all, I love this so much, and this is why I paint all my walls white. That way when I find amazing unique pieces like this is what stands out in my house, not like a dark wall or a bright wall or an accent wall. I want my home decor and these amazing thrifted pieces that I find to be the showstoppers in my home. I picked up this birdcage cloche for about $1, and anytime I find a cloche, I pick it up. Now this one's pretty, but it is a little bit shiny for me, so I just want to tone it down and give it more of like a French country look. So to do this, I'm just going to simply apply white wax to the whole piece, and I am going to let it sit for a few minutes before I come back and start wiping it off, because I do want it to stay pretty white, but this is much easier than trying to paint this piece, and it's definitely giving it those French country vibes that I was going for. For it to be a cloche, we need a base. So I'm just using any wood that I have on hand. I am also refilling my wood hoard at this new house. And this is actually some laminate flooring that we took out from the rooms upstairs. So I'm just going to glue these planks back together so that I can create a base for this cloche. I'm just going to find something round that is about the same size that I want the base to be, and I'm going to outline it, and then I'm going to go outside and cut it out with my jigsaw. When cutting out a circle, I just go slow and just do the best that I can with my jigsaw. It is really hard to cut out a perfect circle, but I just do the best that I can, and then I take my sander and hit up all the edges, and just to try to get it as perfectly round as I possibly can. I felt like the base of this cloche really needed some legs, so I'm just using what I have on hand, and all I have is these little round balls. I'm not sure exactly where they came from, but I'm pretty sure you can get them at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And I'm using a combination of hot glue and Gorilla Glue because I need these things to set up right away so I can finish this project. Normally, I let my glue dry for 24 hours, but just for the sake of this video, we're gonna get it done quicker than that. I want the base of this cloche to tie into the top, so what I decided to do was also just add white wax to the base, and that'll bring these two totally separate pieces together and look like one cohesive piece. So once again, you're just going to brush on your white wax, and then you're going to wipe it off with a paper towel or a lint-free rag. I'm going to reveal the finished piece after the next project because the next project is also going to be a cloche. I picked up this glass light globe at Goodwill for $2, and even though it has a hole at the top, I immediately thought it could be a great cloche. And this is actually a finial from a curtain rod that was left here in the house that we purchased, and look how perfectly it fits in here, y'all. Never throw these little finials away. You will find something to do with it. The metal finial does have a screw sticking out, so I'm going to use my metal jigsaw blade and cut it off with my jigsaw. I do like this little variety pack of saw blades because they're all labeled so you know exactly which one you need for each project. And I just put the finial in my vise and then cut it off with my jigsaw. And now I'm going to give it a coat of chalk paint, and then I'm going to lightly distress it. Once that is done, I'm just going to glue my finial to the glass piece, and this will act as a handle so you can easily lift your glass cloche up and down. I'm going to create a base for this cloche the same way as I created the other one. It's just going to be a little bit smaller to specifically fit the size of this cloche, and I'm going to cut it out with my jigsaw. And then I decided for the finish on this one, I wanted it to have a more aged look, so I applied the Waverly antiquing wax and water mixture to the base of this cloche. I love the way that these sweet little cloches turned out, and I hope it inspires you to look at things in a different way and maybe not use them for the purpose that they were intended for, but use them for something else and look around and see what you have and how you can transform it. Well, I feel really good about everything that I accomplished in today's video. So that means that I get to go shopping and buy more stuff, right? I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Please leave a comment below and let me know what was your favorite project that I worked on today. If you love thrift flips, I post these videos every single Thursday. If y'all love thrift hauls and house decorating, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Y'all have a wonderful day and I will see y'all in my next video.